after our extra time loss in the Carabao Cup in the last episode. Today things get tougher as we face the side that everybody wants to beat but nobody can. But then, this is the FA Cup and anything is possible, isn't it? Hello and welcome to episode 42 of Irons in the Fire as we try and make West Ham good and great again. My name's Mark and on today's episode we have two games for you as usual, back to normal that is. We have a home game against Manchester City in the FA Cup 5th round. Couldn't be any tougher, but if we can get past Manchester City, anything's possible until we meet Manchester United, as it usually works out. And then we are away to Everton in the Premier League, match day 28. If you enjoyed today's episode, leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of the series and let me know what you'd like to see me do in the near future. I still have got to get round to recording the how-to videos that you want me to record. They are coming up very, very soon. That is a cast iron promise. It's just a case of fitting the time in at the moment. Just seems really hectic and we're only in February. Goodness me. And don't forget, you can always keep up to date what's happening on this channel by following me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at JustOffsideFM. Right, well, since you were last with us, what have we been doing? I don't think we've done a lot, really. We're licking our wounds after that 2-1 loss in extra time against Manchester United. Dastardly thing that was, of course. But there you go. If you don't put your chances away, you don't get yourself nice and well out in front, realistically, should have beaten them. For anybody who hasn't seen that episode, go back and watch it by all means. But as you'll see, we have 14 shots, 8 on target, 1.79, 44% of the possession. They had 18 shots, 5 on target, 1.84 and 56% of the possession. Souček giving us the lead after the hour. On 60 minutes, 7 minutes later, Kanate levelling up for Manchester United. And then it was on the 3 minutes of added time at the end of the 122 periods of extra time. It should have been down to penalties, but Højlund getting up right pretty much for the last kick of the game. And, well, the rest is history, as they say. We need to move on. Running up until that, we've been on a fair bit of form since the Carabao Cup semi-final, which we lost the first leg to Arsenal, of course. Since then, unbeaten in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 up until the FA Cup match. And in fact, in the Premier League, we've not lost since we lost to Manchester City last time at the Etihad Stadium. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches in the Premier League where we haven't lost, only dropping 2 points against Bournemouth. That one. But otherwise, we've not been doing too badly at all. I don't think there's a great deal else to tell you other than we'll just get on with the episode and get on with the games, I think. We are, of course, towards the end of February 2025 in game. So no transfers or stuff happening at the moment. It's all fairly quiet. So with that in mind, we today face Manchester City in this FA Cup match. As I said at the very top of the episode, the FA Cup, anything is possible, even when the most unlikely things, a bit like the FA Cup final last season. We really didn't expect to beat Manchester United, but we did. Couldn't do it again, but we did beat them the first time out. And as you'll see, it's been a bit torrid. We've played them 5 times this series. Premier League, all we've done is manage 2 losses and 2 draws. Lost at their place 3 times in a row. At our place, we've drawn twice. It's got a draw all over it, I guess. But we don't really want to draw, because if we go to the Etihad, by the looks of it, we know what's coming. So let's deal with it. First time out. No replays, please. Okay. Before you start scrabbling for the comments, as much as I want you to put comments down there, of course, we are in the 5th round of the FA Cup. There are no replays in the 5th round of the FA Cup. It is extra time and penalties, and we're already tired from the extra time and not penalties, but extra time against Manchester United. So we don't really want to go to that route if we can help it. So I suppose the best thing to do is to put them to bed in real time. That is the way to do it. Right, so we are going to play this team against Manchester City today. Mazzuglia is better as a sweeper keeper. My assistant was suggesting Areola goes back in goal, but to be honest, Mazzuglia has not been doing too bad, and Areola's not 100% anyway, so it feels like the best thing to do is to keep Mazzuglia in goal. Parisi, Upamecano, Todibo and Wagnerman are the defensive line. Shalanga, Ward-Prowse and Kahera in midfield. Kudos is behind Bowen and Abraham simply because Samadic is tired after the exploits of the Carabao Cup. Areola, Emerson, Paqueta, Azuma, Mavropanos, Kamada, Sufal, Samadic and Watkins make up the bench. And here we are at the London Stadium, and that one loss showing up on there against Manchester United, of course. Manchester City today, they are playing a 4-3-3 with a defensive midfielder, Rodri being the defensive midfielder, Haaland up front. 28 minutes on the clock. Wagnerman with a long throw. He picked up a yellow card 2 minutes in. Todibo puts it away. 4th goal of the season for Jean-Claire Todibo. And what a time to score it. And we go 1-up against Manchester City. Pretty even Stevens up to now. Manchester City not actually having done a lot, but have had the bulk of the possession. But this will fire them up now, of course. Corner on that far side. Ward-Prowse swings it in. 40 minutes on the clock. It's headed away, but only as far as Bowen. Bowen hopefully will recycle this. Does. Crosses it deep, but Ortega comes out and collects. Highlight is staying, which means something. Hopefully it doesn't mean what I think it's, or what is expecting it to be. Oh no, Xavier. Tammy Abraham, he puts it away. His 5th goal of the season. And on 42 minutes, we go 2-up against Manchester City. That's what we wanted, but there's a long way to go yet. Never give up. The Rico Lewis, a poor ball, didn't see Xavier floating there, and Tammy Abraham from just outside the area drilled it to the right of Ortega. And half-time has arrived, and as you'll see, probably no more than we deserved in that first half. 7 shots, 3 of which were on target, 0.80, 35% of the possession, soaked up the possession, hit them when we needed to. And they've had 2 shots, just the one on target, 0.06 and 65% of the possession. I'd like a second half, just like that. And before we see this free kick, Rafinha is off. Malen is on at half-time for Manchester City. We're coming up to the hour mark here in game. Kudos with that ball in. It's swung in, it's down, and Xavier puts it away. A question of whether he's offside. It will be his 1st goal of the season if it is allowed. It is. And we go 3-up, and Manchester City have a mountain to climb. And, well, the FA Cup doing FA Cup things again. Well onside. Ortega with a goal kick. It's gone out wide to Oliveira. Rodrigo. And Manchester City come forward. I thought we were going to win that ball back then for a minute. But Haaland is in. And Haaland needs cutting out. Parisi heads it forward. Bowen is there. Back out to Parisi. We're on the attack again. Thwarted Manchester City. just when it looked like Haaland might get through. Kudos goes out to Wagnerman, who's had an outstanding game today. Wagnerman crosses in. Oh, flipping heck. Mohamed Kudus, the scorer. And it's 4-0 on 60. I wish it was 80. On 68 minutes. And, well, yes, weren't really expecting this. What a time to actually go and beat Manchester City. It was a good goal. And having scored that fourth goal on 68 minutes, we are making two changes at this juncture in time as the exploits against Manchester United start to take their toll in energy. And what we don't want to do, we've still got half an hour, 20 minutes to play. And what we don't want to do is let Manchester City back in, because if they get the tails up, anything could happen, as we know. Parisi comes off. He's had a great game on that left-hand side, albeit the rating doesn't say so. But Emerson comes on to replace him. Just check he can play as a complete wing-back. He can. And Gerard Bowen, who again has had a reasonable game up front. Not scored any goals, but he's had a good game up front. Ollie Watkins comes on for him, and Ollie Watkins playing on the right. Abraham now moved over to the left. 75 minutes on the clock. Cancelo. Malen finds Haaland. And Haaland's sort of been half thwarted, but Xavier does thwart him in the end. Back to Mazulia. Upper Meccano. Todibo. Oh, nearly scored an own goal. But Mazulia was wise to it. And with 76 minutes on the clock, we are making a further two changes. We have taken off Tammy Abraham now. Move Kudos up in alongside Watkins, and Samadic comes on for Tammy Abraham. And the other change that we've made is the man who's almost certainly going to pick up player of the match, Wagnerman. He has come off, and we've replaced him with Soufal. Cancelo with a free kick. Malen. Oliveira. Bernardo Silva, but all he can do is head it on. Emerson is there. Emerson finds Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse to Cahera. Xavier. Samadic out wide to Soufal, who's fresh pair of legs. Soufal goes on a run. Crosses this ball in deep. Looking for Kudos. Kudos was on target. Or was he? And with 88 minutes on the clock, we're making our final change. Schlanger is coming off. Zuma comes on to replace him in midfield. Oliveira with a throw in. Matheus. It's into the area. Haaland is there, and it's crossed in again. Silva is stopped. I mean, it's straight through to Mazulia. Straight down his throat. And we'll see it again. Matheus. Soufal trying to stop him. Close attention. And Rodrigo straight at Mazulia. And full time has arrived. And boys and girls, look at that at the top there. It says 4-0. Yeah, pinch yourself. Unbelievable. 17 shots, 7 on target, 2.84. Only 36% of the possession, so you don't need possession to win games. That's clear. Just soaked it up, hit them when we needed to hit them. They had 6 shots, just 2 on target. Haaland wasn't at the races today. He was struggling. Of 0.51 on the XG and 64% of the possession. We definitely are still in it to retain our FA Cup, or to contest it. It's not going to extra time. We've not had to use any more energy. It's all good, which means that we will potentially have 2 draws in this episode. One the FA Cup and one the Champions League. Stand by. Well, as you know, I do like these screens, these match momentum screens, and it does tell a story. Manchester City had literally 20 minutes where they dominated. We actually dominated the rest of the game. And, 70 minutes of that game was really down to us. And it paid dividends by the 4 goals that we scored. Why can't we play like that all the time? We would be away at the top of the league. And, we still have the opportunity, I think, to do that to Manchester City in the league. A rerun of that would be rather splendid. So here we are then, the draw for the Champions League round of 16. 2 draws will be made today. We've checked, so we have the FA Cup draw coming up very, very shortly. But I thought before we actually have a look at that, we would actually just do a check on who has gone through via the knockout playoff round. And as you'll see, Juventus are beating Stuttgart by 5-2. These all on aggregate, by the way. Real Sociedad beating Nice 3-1. Sturm Graz beating Marseille 6-4. Hotly contested game, that one. Manchester United getting by through past Napoli 3-1 on aggregate by virtue of that away win in the second leg. Bayer Leverkusen beating Feyenoord 5-3. Celtic are through, beating Besiktas 4-2. Real Madrid beating Benfica by 5-2. And Leipzig beating Atletico Madrid by 2-1. So Juventus, Real Sociedad, Sturm Graz, Manchester United, Bayer Leverkusen, Celtic, Real Madrid and RB Leipzig. They are through, but they will be the unseeded teams. The seeded teams are Barcelona, Inter, Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain. And Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Milan and West Ham. Ourselves, we will, as I understand it, we will get advantage of being at home in the second leg. So we'll be away in the first leg, home in the second leg, and I think that's how it works. Without any more to do, let's have a look at the draw. So Robin Van Persie is the ceremony host for this one. Let's get underway. Unseeded teams out first, as I said, so they will take the home leg first. And first out is RB Leipzig. Who's going to be playing RB Leipzig? Ourselves. We're first out, boys and girls. We'll do the rest of the draw. So we're playing RB Leipzig. I think we played... Did we play them in the knockout stages? I'm not sure. We'll check in a bit. Bayer Leverkusen will play Milan. Real Sociedad will play Inter. At least we've avoided Manchester United. Manchester United will play Paris Saint-Germain. That could knock them out. Sturm Graz will play Liverpool. Juventus will play Barcelona. Which means Real Madrid will play Manchester City. Now that is a humdinger. That is one heck of a match. Celtic will be playing Bayern Munich. Let's have a look at the whole draw then. Leipzig versus ourselves. Bayern Leverkusen versus Milan. Real Sociedad versus Inter. Manchester United will play Paris Saint-Germain. Sturm Graz will play Liverpool. Juventus will play Barcelona. Real Madrid will play Manchester City. And Celtic will play Bayern Munich. And we did play RB Leipzig in the league phase. And I can tell you, we drew with them 1-1 on that occasion. It was Openda, Samadic giving us the lead after 67. Openda equalising after 85. That was at home. So, yeah, we need to be on form to get past them to get into the last 8. But we'll see what we can do with that. Right, I have a suspicion next up is the FA Cup quarter-final draw. And as if by magic, we get the draw for the Emirates FA Cup quarter-final and 8 teams going into the draw. Let's have a look then as we view the draw. And here we are in the draw, and the 8 teams are Arsenal, Brentford, Bristol City, Ipswich Town, Leeds, Leicester, Manchester United and West Ham, all in alphabetical order, of course. Let's get underway. Leeds are first out. They will play Manchester United. Leeds and Manchester United, an all northern, either side of the Pennines derby. West Ham, we are out. We are home in the quarter-final against... Is it going to be Bristol City? No, it's going to be Leicester. Bristol City, they'll be playing at Ashton Gate. Big crowd there. They'll play Brentford. Must fancy their chances there to progress into the semi-finals, possibly. Ipswich Town then will play Arsenal. That is the draw for the quarterfinals then. Leeds versus Manchester United. West Ham versus Leicester. Bristol City versus Brentford. And Ipswich Town playing Arsenal. That's the draw for the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. And here's how the schedule looks then going into this game now, having made those draws. The Champions League, a round of 16 away leg, first leg away at RB Leipzig in the next episode, and that will be followed by a Premier League game against Tottenham, and then we play RB Leipzig in the second leg, and we'll couple that up with an FA Cup quarter-final against Leicester. Can we progress and retain the FA Cup? We'll have to wait and see. I thought we played Manchester. We hadn't. Manchester City, we must have already played them. We did there, away from home. Must have. Oh, that was a 4-4 draw early in the season. First game out, wasn't it? Yes. And we've got Leicester to play again. So we'll play them twice in near proximity. But anyway, that is how it has coupled up. That's how the episodes are going to come. It's high time we got on with the episode. It's a game against Everton. We have played them 3 times in this series. We have beaten them twice, losing to them last time out earlier in the season, 3-2 on that occasion. Zoom and Watkins for us, and then Marianchuk, Dwight McNeil giving them a 2-0 lead, and we got back on level terms at half-time. But Brennan Johnson putting us to the sword with a third, giving them a 3-2 win in the Premier League. So we need to avenge that for a start off. And a result that we got at Goodison last time out, a 2-1 win. Ings Mavropanos with a consolation from Beto would be very nice. And here is the team that will face Everton in this Premier League match day 28 as we enter the last stages, last 10 games of the Premier League season. And the team looks like this. Mazulia is in goal. Emerson, Friedel, Todibo and Sufal are the defensive line. Suchek, Kahera and Zuma in the midfield. Kamada sits behind Bowen and Watkins up front. Areola, coming back from injury, is on the bench with Upamecano, Parisi, Vaganaman, Samadic, Lucas Paqueta, Ward-Prowse, Abraham and Mubama. Lots of those, of course, had some really tough games over the last week or so. Manchester United to extra time in the Carabao Cup, and then, of course, a tough match against Manchester City in the FA Cup. So hopefully they can perform at a similar level today. And here we are, Everton playing a 4-2-3-1 today. Beto up front. We're playing our very, by now, familiar formation. We are 4th on 56. Everton 15th on 30 points. Two and a half minutes in. A short corner from Bowen. Emerson. Sufal. Sufal now finds Todibo. Todibo to Bowen. Bowen in. And it's Ollie Watkins with his 9th goal of the season. Pickford is having a go at the referee, remonstrating that it was offside. VAR is looking at it. And it is disallowed. It wasn't offside. Just coming back on, and he was offside there. Sufal, Zuma, still only 4 minutes on the clock, all the way back to Mazulia. Friedel to Emerson. Emerson comes forward. He's had attention there from the Everton defender, or Everton striker, should I say. Who is it? It's Johnson. Is that Ben Johnson, the one that we sold? Friedel. Emerson again. Trying to put him under a bit of pressure. Friedel. Gahera to Todibo. Todibo out wide to Soufal. Soufal now goes off down that right wing. Soufal looking to get this in. He's got support there from Zuma. Zuma into the penalty area. Zuma, and it's gone in the net. This time I think it will count. And I'm not sure. I was concentrating on something else. Didn't see who scored that. It's no doubt come up on your screen. You will know. Zuma. We'll find out this time. It was Bowen off his head as it ricocheted about there. 1 up on 5 minutes. A corner from Bowen. Souček just couldn't get it down. Another corner. Bowen. Pressure continues. 22 on the clock now. Swung in. It's sort of headed clear. Zuma heads it back on. And they've kept it in, which I don't know why they did that. Bowen, and they might pay the price for it. Not quite, though. It's gone for a corner. Bit strange that he kept that in. I'm not sure why he did that. Kamada swings it. It's deep one, but it's headed on. Watkins into the area, and Patterson stops it, but Watkins continues his quest. Emerson. Gahera back into Kamada. Kamada finds Souček. Souček's outnumbered, but carries on and wins the ball. Gahera, we keep control. I'm not sure why. Thought that was going in, obviously. And it was a good save by Pickford in the end. And yet another corner. 24 on the clock this time. It's Todibo at the back post. He out-jumped the defender and planted it in the back of the net. 2-0 on 25. Deep one. Todibo getting up. Directs it in past Pickford. Emerson with a throw-in now. On virtually the half-hour mark. Friedel to Todibo. Todibo looking for Watkins. Watkins controls it. Nearly lost it. Nearly won it. And then lost it again. Patterson on this wing. But Bowen comes marauding back. I'm having that. Emerson. Oh, what's gone on there? Bowen, he's in. Bowen. Oh, it hit it too hard. Hit the crossbar. It's gone out for a throw. Or was it saved? The linesman signalling in our way for the throw-in, which suggests it caught a deflection somewhere. And half-time arrives. And considering the two mountain of games that we've had in the last week, Manchester United and Manchester City, and the effort that the team have put in, that is a massive first half. 9 shots, 5 on target, 1.50 on the XG, 64% possession. They've had 1 shot, just the 1 on target, 0.11, and 36% of the possession. Well, I'd like to say we're in control of this game, but as we know, Football Manager can have a bit of a sting to its tail if you're not careful. But at the moment, we're doing okay. And 46 minutes on the clock. Another corner. Oh, just wide from Souček. They have a corner now. Vieira crosses it in. It's headed away. Kamada, I'm not sure what he was doing. Kamada's going to get there. Looked like it wasn't going to drop for him for a minute. Watkins, we are on a counter-attack here. And it's defended, but only as far as Soufal. Soufal now looking for a bit of support, but he crosses it in all the same. Souček heads it back. Gahera. Emerson out wide there. Can he get this ball into the box? He can. Flicks it in. Looking for Bowen. Bowen couldn't get there. Bowen on the ball now. Cross it in. It's taking a deflection. Watkins has a second go. Pickford doing all sorts of heroics in the Everton goal. Bowen with a short corner this time. To Kamada. And he's cut that back. But Brathwaite, who I think was in one of our other saves. I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments which save it was. I think it was last year, possibly. That's come to nothing. Brathwaite and Bowen getting back on the end of this. Zoom had a go. It come back off of Garner, and then Watkins had a go, and Pickford saved it. Patterson with a throw-in way out wide. It's headed down. Kahera, Kamada. We come forward again. Bowen. Zuma. Zuma to Watkins. Watkins to Soufal. Lovely movement. Soufal into the area, and it's Kamada this time. Pickford saving again. And if Pickford performs like this every game, to be fair, I'm surprised they're in the position that they are. Boatload of chances. Kamada with a free kick. Todibo gets his second of the game. 6th goal of the season. Or is it? Or is it? It is. Todibo was onside. Oh, yeah, he's well onside. What was all that about? We'll see the lines. There you go. Just to prove it. In fact, there was 2 playing him on. Vieira here and Onana there. And Todibo gets his second of the game. 6th of the season. Bowen with a free kick. Swung in. It's gone over the top though. And with 66 minutes on the clock, we are making 2 changes. We have taken off Kurt Zouma, who's had a fantastic game, and he's tiring. He's exerted himself over the last week. He's having a rest with a 3-goal lead. It should be okay. James Ward-Prowse coming on for him. Kahera moving out into Zuma's position. Ward-Prowse as the ball-winning midfielder, and the other change we've made is up front. Watkins not firing all cylinders today. Davin Mubama gets an opportunity up front alongside Jarrod Bowen. And no more highlights in between. On 79 minutes, we make a further 2 changes. We have taken off Thomas Souček, and on comes Lucas Paqueta in his place. And the other change we've made up front, Jarrod Bowen, who is tiring now. He's had a good game. I don't think it's going to be player of the match. But he has had a good game, should I say. Tammy Abraham comes on to replace him. And again, no more highlights. We are into the 90th minute with 6 minutes of injury time to play. And it's all gone very quiet since the 3rd goal went in on 58 minutes, really. And I think we're tired. I think they're tired. And all in all, it's sort of petered out, really. Our final change then is Parisi. Parisi comes on in place of Emerson in that left wing back position to see the game out. Garner with a corner for Everton. A rare highlight in this second half. It's been headed on. Godfrey is out there. And Zubelda, or whatever his name is, Garner. Are they going to score here? They are. And Martínez is the scorer and gets one back for Everton. Was hoping that we were going to keep a second clean sheet, but it's not prevailed itself. Second minute of 6 added on. And Mazulia. And it's nothing more than a consolation. Martínez. Martínez. I'll get that right in a minute. Scoring on 92 minutes to make it 3-1. Just makes it look a bit prettier for them. Jarrod Bowen after 5. Jean-Claire Todibo after 25. Give us a 2-0 lead at half-time. Jean-Claire Todibo on 58 minutes and rounded it off. 16 shots, 8 on target, 3.07, 57% of the possession. They had a far better second half. 4 shots, 4 on target, and 0.38 on the XG. Just not clinical enough. 43% of the possession. But I have to say that I think Jordan Pickford saved them. He saved a boatload of shots that we put in and really should have put away. But he was on form today. And the player of the match for Jean-Claire Todibo. Well, that win in the Premier League means that we've gone 8 games unbeaten in the Premier League. 7 of which have been wins. So 7-1, 1 drawn in the last 8 games since we lost to Manchester City. So that's a good bit of form to have in your back pocket. Results today, one going in our favour. Liverpool have beaten Manchester United by 2-1. That was in the early game. Other key ones here. Manchester City, I think they've had a little bit of a problem from the fallout from the FA Cup knocking out. They've lost today to Chelsea, 2-0, and an opportunity to cut the deficit at the top. And not only have Manchester City lost, Arsenal have lost as well. They've lost to Norwich by 1-0, which opens it up a little bit at the top here. If we look at the top of the table, we have a game in hand still, and if we win that game in hand, we would overtake Arsenal and move into second space for the first time for a long while, and also have a 5-point gap over Liverpool, which would be rather splendid. Manchester City would then be within 5 points of us, so an opportunity to perhaps try and catch them. That's just need to keep going, keep this form going towards the end of the season. Let everybody else worry about themselves. All we've got to do is keep chugging away, and we know we can beat the best on the day, and that's all we have got to do. We've got Manchester United still to play, of course, coming up. So that is what we've got coming up. We've got a lot of big games coming up as well. As you can see, our running's not too bad. We've got Manchester United, we've got Liverpool, we've got Arsenal on the last day of the season. That could be quite an end of season party, and it's away, which is not a good thing either. We will see. We're coming back for RB Leipzig, the first leg of the Champions League round of 16. That's followed by another Premier League game, this time against London rivals Tottenham. We know what can happen there, don't we? If it can all go a bit awry, well, at least we're at home. I suppose that's the upside, is we are at home. Well, we beat them 2-1 last time at home. Have lost 2-0 on both occasions at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So I suppose that's the only saving grace. And we have a run of 4 games at home, as it turns out, as you will see. RB Leipzig away, and then we've got Tottenham at home, RB Leipzig at home, Leicester at home, and then Aston Villa all at home. So a run of home games, which hopefully will do us the world of good. I hope you can join me for the next episode. If you've enjoyed today's episode, though, leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button, leave me a comment, let me know how you think we're going, and also if you know which save we have Brathwaite in, you can leave that down in the comments as well. And of course, by subscribing, hitting the notification button, all that, it keeps you up to date with when future episodes of Irons in the Fire and our other series, bottom to the top, are released, of course. And new episodes of Irons in the Fire released every Monday and Thursday here on channel at 4:15 p.m. And the best way of keeping up to date with what's happening on this channel is to follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at JustOffsideFM. Right, well, as I said, hopefully we will see you for the next episode. But first and foremost, thank you very much for watching today, and we'll see you on the next one. Till then, bye-bye.